Welcome, my friends. My name's Becky. I'm here at the Croydon Yoga Hub. This is going to be a 1 hour, nice, gentle, slow flow. This class is perfect for people who are brand new to yoga or for those who just want a bit of a more slower paced, relaxed class. I'm going to be using a bolster and 2 blocks, but don't worry if you don't have yoga props at home. Grab yourself a cushion or a pillow. And when you're ready to begin, let's come down onto our backs for our first posture, which is going to be reclined butterfly position. So coming to lie down, taking the soles of your feet together, knees out wide, and just allowing the knees to open, stretching into the hips. If this feels quite intense and you want to take a little bit of that intensity out, grab your yoga blocks and just prop them underneath your thighs or under your knees. It can also be nice if you want to make yourself a little pillow for your head with a cushion or a rolled up blanket. And I'm going to recommend taking one hand over your heart, other hand over your belly. Closing down your eyes. And just taking a moment to tune in. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Another full deep breath in, filling up your belly, ribs and chest. And then exhale through an open mouth, letting go of any stress, tension you've been holding on to from your day. All right, from here, we'll take a breathing exercise known as the 4-part breath. We'll begin slowly, just with a simple in breath for a count of 4, and then breathing out for a count of 4. We'll do that for a few rounds, and then we'll introduce a pause at the very top of the breath in, and then again at the very bottom of the breath out. All right, so let's begin breathing all together. Exhale everything out of your body, letting go of all the breath. And then inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. One more in. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. This time we're going to add the hold and hold for 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. And hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Last round. In. 2, 3, 4. And pause. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out. 2, 3, 4. Last pause. 2, 3, 4. Nice work. Just returning now to a nice natural state of breathing. Just noticing if that breathing exercise brought up anything for you, any particular feeling, maybe a memory. Or maybe you noticed that your brain was able to come into a place of stillness as you brought your awareness fully onto your breath. And directing awareness now back into your body, noticing the contact points where your body is meeting the floor, back of the pelvis, shoulder blades, back of the head, elbow. Slowly move your hands to the outside of your knees, gently push them together, and then draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Allowing a gentle rock from side to side. Giving some love into the low back. Just finding any movement here that is intuitive to you. All right, and then lower your feet down. You want to have your feet about hips width apart, toes pointing forward. Heels are quite far in towards your pelvis. From here, catch hold of your yoga block or a cushion, and you want to be placing it so it's at its mid-width in between your thighs, so above the knees. Take your arms down alongside your body, palms face down. And we're just going to work into a few simple bridges from here. As you're holding the block in between your thighs, I want you to squeeze that block. And as you keep squeezing, press the mat with your feet. Begin to tilt your tailbone up towards your knees. Slowly begin to lift your low back and then mid back, finally upper back off your mat, coming up into a bridge, but keep squeezing that block. Let's hold here for a big breath in. And then as you breathe out, wave your spine back down, upper back, then mid back, then lower back. Finally, your pelvis lowers down and you can release that squeeze. Keep that block in between the thighs though. We're just letting go of the intensity of the squeeze and prepare to lift again. So squeeze that block, press down through your feet and then begin to tilt tailbone up and then slowly waving your spine up into your bridge. Big breath in here. Exhale, wave and lower back down. Keep squeezing until you're fully landed back down on the mat. Let's do one more like that. Find your squeeze and then slowly peeling yourself up. Coming into your bridge. I'm going to hold here for a little bit longer this time. And I want you to see if you can snuggle your shoulder blades kind of towards each other. Keep squeezing that block. Maybe you can lift your hips a little bit higher. Let's take one more breath here. And then slowly waving the spine as though you could lower one vertebra at a time. Super slow motion. And then release. All right. We're going to keep the block in between the thighs, but rather than have it on its mid-width, you're just going to turn it so that it's on its thinnest setting. Taking it back. And then from here, lifting up the legs into a reverse tabletop position so your shins are parallel with your mat. Take your arms out wide, palms again facing down on the mat. And then from here, find a sense of drawing your belly button down towards your spine. Notice how your low back imprints onto the mat. And then from here, with your core engaged, begin to lower your knees down to the left. Slowly making your way into a reclined twist. Once you've made it down into your twist, you can keep your gaze up towards the ceiling or turn to look over your right shoulder. And just reconnect with your breath here. Slow, deep breath in. And exhale, soften.
Again.
And just notice as you hold in this twist, if you're holding any tension, particularly around the hips and the glutes, can you soften that? So really softening the glutes and the hips, relaxing thigh muscles. All right, let's come out, slowly lifting your legs back up through center. Let's reconnect with the core, so drawing the low belly in, and then slowly dropping knees over to the right. You can really take your time getting into this twist. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Final breath in your twist. And then slowly unwind. Take your block off to one side. And hug your knees back into your chest, maybe lifting your forehead up to the knees. And then lowering your head back down, taking your palms over top of your kneecaps. And begin to find some circles, taking your knees out in opposite directions. So separating knees apart, circling them around. And then change direction. All right, and then pause with your knees out wide. Flex into your feet. Begin to open up through the knee joint, catching hold of your ankles or outside edges of your feet for a happy baby. Arms are inside of the legs. Maybe adding a gentle rock side to side. Hi, so then from here, taking your hands behind your thighs, we're going to rock and roll a couple times up and down the spine. Gradually building up momentum. And just see if you can find a gentle pause on your sitting bones as you come up. And then rock on back. And we'll do that a couple more times. So just pause in our boat pose and roll back. Pause, can you find your balance? And then roll back. All right, let's do one more. And then this time, as you find that pause, cross the ankles and roll on over onto your hands and knees. You might need to crawl yourself back towards the back of your mat. And we're going to come into a child's pose from here. So totally up to you if you want to keep your knees together or have them wide apart. Taking them a bit wider apart is going to stretch a bit deeper into the inner thighs and into the hips a bit more. So you're lowering your torso down towards your mat, resting your forehead down. This is another place if you want to get props involved, maybe a bolster or pillow underneath the chest, perhaps a block or a folded up blanket underneath the forehead for a little bit of extra padding.
And just allowing yourself to really soften down into this child's pose. And using your breath here, so every exhale, really visualize yourself melting and softening down. Inhale, see if you can notice your low back expanding. And if you don't already have your arms extended, reaching them forward now. Begin to walk your hands all the way over to the right. So they're going to come slightly off your mat. Option to press your left hand quite firmly down on top of the right, lowering your head back down. What we're looking for here is a big stretch into the left side of the body. As your inhale expands through your left ribs, notice how that impacts the stretch into the intercostal muscles. That's the muscles in between your ribs. And then slowly walk your hands back through center and over to the left. Making your way back through center. One final breath here. And then round up through your spine, coming into a tabletop on your hands and knees, stacking hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Really spread your fingers wide. Toes can be tucked or untucked to your choice, and we'll find our cat-cow from here. If your knees are quite sensitive, just grab yourself a blanket to slide underneath them, pad yourself up. From here, inhale, lower belly, lift your chest, lift your gaze, and then exhale, rounding through your spine, chin to chest. Inhale, arching your spine, cow. Exhale, round. Really press the mat away with your knuckles. 2 more rounds just like this, moving in time with your own breath. All right, let's make this the last round. And we'll meet back in a neutral spine, slight engagement of the belly. And then from here, breathe in, reach your right arm up as you open your chest towards the right. Exhale, thread that right arm underneath the left, taking the right shoulder all the way down onto your mat. Right side of your head also plants down. And we're going to thread the needle twist. Couple options to play with here. Perhaps you slide your left arm forward, coming up onto the fingertips can allow you to traction yourself a little bit deeper into this twist. Maybe you tuck your left toe, slide your left leg back. You want to think of sending that left hip down towards the mat. So the front bony point of your hip, you want that pointing down towards your mat. And we'll hold here for a couple of breaths. All right, if you're in a variation, making your way back down. Let's inhale to unwind, reaching that right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, lowering it back down. Second side, inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, threading left arm underneath right. Make your way down into your twist. Then just finding your variation. Doesn't have to be the same on this side. One final deep breath in. Exhale, slowly unwind. Inhale, reach that left arm up. And then exhale, lower it down. All right, from here, just take your hands, just a bit of a handprint forward, spreading those fingers nice and wide, tucking your toes, and begin to press yourself up and back into a downward facing dog. So your knees can be nice and generously bent here. You want to focus on sending the hips up, pressing through the hands to lengthen out through the spine. Once you found that length in your spine, maybe you begin to explore by straightening one leg and then the other, pedaling out through the feet. Maybe you want to spice up these movements a little bit by twisting from side to side. Just exploring any movement that feels good for you here. And then coming into a place of stillness, maybe you begin to straighten through the legs a little bit more. Maybe your heels begin to work down towards your mat. They don't need to get there. It's perfectly okay for them to be floating. Also perfectly okay for your knees to always be bent in a down dog. All right, let's get off the hands by taking baby steps up towards the very top of your mat. And we're going to come into a forward fold ragdoll pose. Once again, have your knees nice and soft. Belly is draping over your thighs. Crown of your head is pointing directly down to your mat. Release any tension from your neck by shaking your head no. Nodding your head, yes. Maybe you want to catch hold of opposite elbows and sway from side to side. This is a pose where we want to just allow gravity to do its work. Decompressing the spine. All right, if you're swaying, just come into stillness, releasing your elbows. Option to take a block, planting it right down in front of your face. Otherwise, placing your left hand on a block or directly down onto your mat, or coming onto your left fingertips directly under your face. Bend your left knee generously, straighten through your right leg. Right hand to right hip. From here, begin to twist your chest towards the right. Maybe then reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling. So we're in a forward fold twist. So stretching deeper into the right hamstring. Let's unwind and switch. So this time, right fingertips down. Really bend deeply into that right knee, left knee straightens, left hand to left hip. Let's twist to the left, and then maybe reaching that left arm up. Only look up to the ceiling if it feels okay on your neck, otherwise turn your gaze back down. Nice, let's unwind that twist. Come back into your forward fold. Bend your knees a little bit more. Ground down into both feet. And then begin to slowly roll up through your spine as we come up to stand. Nice and slow. Head is last thing to rise. And we meet in Tadasana. All right, from this Tadasana, let's take some big shoulder rolls. Take a breath in, reach your arms up overhead, catch hold of your left wrist with the right hand, and then find a big side bend over to the right. We'll hold here for a couple of breaths. See if you can rotate your chest up towards the ceiling. And then release that. Inhale, lift up. Second side. All right, return to center, lower your arms back down. Let's inhale, reaching arms up once more. Exhale, this time making a cactus shape with your arms. Lift your chest up. And then from here, I want you to really exaggerate squeezing the shoulders together as you draw your elbows towards your waist, slowly lowering your arms down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus the arms, really lift your chest. We're coming into a little bit of a back bend. Squeeze elbows towards waist. One more like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cactus your arms. Nice. From here, we're going to do a little bit of balancing, just a little bit of standing before we make our way back down to the mat. If balance is challenging for you today, maybe grab yourself a little bit of a wall space. Shift your weight into your left foot and begin to draw your right knee towards your chest, clasping hold in front of the shin. Let's take a couple of ankle circles. Finding a spot that's not moving in front of you if you're feeling a bit wobbly. Nice. And then from here, opening up your right knee to the side, we're going to come into a tree pose. You're taking your right foot either below or above the knee. And you want to find a bit of dynamic resistance here. So you're pressing your foot into your thigh, but you're also pressing your thigh into your foot. Taking your hands over to your hips or in prayer pose. Once again, find that spot that's not moving. Focus on your breath. That can also really help with your balance. And if you wobble, if you fall out, that's perfectly okay. Just take a moment, come back in. So nice. All right, let's take one more breath here. And then exhale, return your knee towards your chest, squeeze it in. And then from here, I'm just going to do a little hop transition. You stay where you are. Your right foot is going to step back about halfway down the mat. Your right toes are pointing on a diagonal towards the top right corner of your mat. We're setting up for a pyramid pose. Just have a peek down at your feet. Notice if your the alignment of your heels is in one line. If that's the case, you may want to just heel toe your left foot a little bit over to the left so that your feet are more in line with your hips. So we're kind of on train tracks rather than on a tightrope, if that makes sense. All right, from here, taking your hands to your hips, just become aware of your pelvis. We want to try and navigate the bony points of your hips directly forward. So just notice if they're kind of pointing off at a bit of an angle and find a little shift. Often that's going to be shifting the left hip back, right hip forward. Press down firmly through the base of the big toe mound. Inhale, lift up your chest and keeping hands on your hips, or perhaps reaching your arms behind your back, catching hold of opposite elbows. And hinging from your hips, let's begin to fold forward. So this is our pyramid pose. Pause with your spine parallel to the floor. Stay here for a breath. And then maybe fold a little bit deeper, forehead towards the shin. Doesn't need to get anywhere near there. If you want to find a little bit more stability, you can release your hands down towards the mat. Maybe you've got blocks. And we're here for a couple more breaths. Legs are nice and strong. All right, wherever you are, take your hands to your hips. On your next breath in, I want you to come into that flat back position. And then exhale, slowly lift on up. And then take a big step forward to the top of your mat. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. All right, and we'll find those postures on the second side. So firstly, coming into your balance, lifting up the left leg this time. Oh, this is definitely my more wobbly side. Don't know about you. Let's take some ankle circles. And then finding tree pose. Find that spot that's not moving. Connect with your breath. So good. If you fall out, just smile. Maybe laugh at yourself. And come back in, try again. One more breath. And then let's hug that left knee in towards the chest once more. Squeeze it in tight. And then we'll make our way into our position for pyramid. Stepping that left foot back. Not too far. Your left toe is going to be pointing on a diagonal towards the top left corner. And then just finding that arm position that was working for you. Hands on hips or arms behind the back. Once again, we want to navigate the pelvis forward. Let's inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bending from your pelvis, not your back, as you lower down halfway. Let's take a breath in. And then maybe you fold forward a little bit more. All right, taking your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, make your way up, coming back into Tadasana. We'll find some sun breaths from here, which is kind of a half sun salutation. I'll talk you through what we're going to do. Moving one breath per movement, or one movement per breath. Inhale, lift your arms up. Palms touch, look at your thumbs. Exhale, bend from your pelvis, folding forward, bowing down. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back, taking your hands to your shins. And then exhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Inhale, circle your arms down, around and up, rise all the way to stand, look up, palms touch. And then exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana. And we'll repeat that 3 more times. Inhale, lift arms, look up. Exhale, fold forward, bowing down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, look up. Then exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana, lower down. Inhale, reach up. This is Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, lower down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. And then exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana. From here, we'll just pause in Tadasana for a moment. Place both hands over your heart. Close your eyes. Bring awareness to your feet. Notice how your weight is balanced.
Shift forward onto the balls of your feet. Shift back into the heels. Shift a little bit to the left, to the right. And then find a point of centered balance. Weight distributed evenly across both feet. Awareness back to your hands. And feel the beating of your heart. Just taking a moment to connect with your heart space. And just perhaps noticing if there's any particular feeling or emotion or anything that's coming up for you so far during your practice. Just allowing it to be with pure love and acceptance. When you're ready to move on, lower your hands back down to Tadasana. Open your eyes. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up skyward. Exhale, forward fold, down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step your right foot all the way back towards the back of your mat, bending into your front knee, coming into a runner's lunge. We can take a moment to shift the hips a little bit side to side. We're just working on sinking the hips forward and down. Just be mindful that your knee isn't passing your foot. We want it more or less stacked directly above the ankle. We'll find a twist from here. Plant your right hand down. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling as you twist to the left. Perhaps add a little wrist circle here. One more deep breath in. Then exhale, circle that left hand back down, straighten through your left legs. Coming into a longer version of that pyramid pose. You're on the ball of your back foot, your back toes are pointing forward this time, they're not on an angle. Maybe your right heel lowers all the way down to your mat, maybe it's floating, perfectly okay. Maybe you're flexing your left toes up towards your face to intensify this stretch. We're just here for a few more breaths, maybe lower it down a little bit more. Forehead towards chin. All right, let's come out of that, rebend it into that left knee, lowering your back knee this time, untucking back toes. And we're coming up into a low lunge from here, taking your hands over onto your front knee. And we'll just take a couple of breaths here, stretching into that hip flexor on the right side. And if you're in quite a deep lunge like me, just begin to shorten your stance a little bit. So you just want to send your hips back so that they're kind of more or less stacking above the back knee. Take your hands into prayer. And then from here, begin to twist your chest to the left. So you're twisting in the direction of your front knee. Staying here for a twist. Or we have two other options. Option one is to extend both arms, look back towards your left fingers. And option two is coming back into the prayer hands, this time hooking your right elbow to the outside of your left knee, and then turning your sternum, your breastbone up towards your thumbs. Maybe you look up and back. And if you really want to spice things up, if you're in the prayer twist variation or in the other variation, it will also work. You may want to try tucking your toes, lifting up your back knee. The choice is yours. We're here for 2 more deep breaths. All right, my friends, wherever you are, unwind. Lower your hands down as you extend that front foot again. Maybe heel toe your foot forward, coming into a half split. Extending that front leg, flexing the left toes up towards your face. Maybe you're staying in more of an upright, flat back position. Maybe you're folding forward over, over that front leg.
So we're doing quite a bit of hamstring opening in this class today. One more breath here. And then rebend into that front knee. Make your way back into a tabletop. And just take a moment to give the hips a little bit of a shake out. And we'll take a round of cat-cow. Inhale, arching your spine. Exhale, round. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. This time as you round, make your way into a child's pose. Just allow yourself a moment to rest. Maybe find a little bit of movement if that feels intuitive to you. And when you're ready to move on, rolling up into a tabletop, tuck your toes, press on back into downward facing dog. Maybe you find a little bit of movement. And then wherever you are, bend your knees, look forward. Take 2 giant steps up towards the top of your mat. Forward fold. On your next breath in, lift up halfway. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky as you rise to stand. And then exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana. Inhale, reach on up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. This time your left foot steps all the way back, deep bend in the front knee, finding that runner's lunge. Finding any movement that feels good here or holding in stillness. All right, let's find that twist. Plant your left hand down, right arm reaches up, twisting to the right. Lower your right arm down as you extend for your right leg, finding that long pyramid. We want to settle our pelvis forward again, so maybe find a slight shift of your right hip back, left hip forward. Maybe flex right toes towards your face, or maybe you don't. One more breath here. And let's rebend, lower the back knee, coming into that low lunge. So we'll just begin taking a couple of breaths in a position where you're feeling a stretch along the left hip flexor. You may need to just experiment a little bit to find a position that's giving you a nice stretch. We're all going to be a little bit different. All right, and then let's just shorten the stance a little bit if you're in quite a deep lunge. Bringing your hands to your chest. Inhale, see if you can lift up through the crown of the head. And then exhale, twisting to the right. All right, and just finding whichever option you took before, so extending the arms or hooking your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Twisting your sternum towards the thumbs. Maybe if you lifted the back knee before, try it again here. Last 2 breaths. Slowly unwind your twist. Lower your hands down, come into your half split. I always like to slide my foot forward to give a little bit more space here. Maybe folding forward. So nice, let's reband into that front leg. Make your way back into a table. Find a little shift of the hips, left and right. And instead of cat-cow this time, I want you to find any embodied movement that feels good. So similar to cat-cow, but just finding any movement. So maybe your ribs are circling, perhaps getting your shoulders a little bit involved, closing down your eyes, just finding any movement that feels natural to you. And then come back into child's pose. And from child's pose, you'll sliver forward onto your belly, coming into Sphinx pose on your forearms. Notice if your shoulders are by the ears, press into the forearms to lift on up. Nice, and from here we'll come into a half frog, so sliding your left knee out to the left so it's in line with your left hip, and then making a right angle with the shin and the thigh, flex into your left foot, reorient your chest forward. And you have an option to add a twist from here, so it's a bit like thread the needle pose that we practiced earlier in class. You'll just extend your left arm, slide your right arm underneath, taking that right shoulder, right ear down to the mat. Just notice if you're not really feeling very much and you want to take this a bit deeper, you're going to find this twist but going the other way. So sliding your left arm underneath the right instead. Slowly unwind from your twist. Slide that leg back. And then from here, taking your left arm out into a T shape, so just directly to the side. Roll onto your left shoulder and your left hip. Come onto your right fingertips. All right, so your legs should be stacking. Option to lift that right leg, the top leg, and step it behind you. Option to reach your right arm behind your back, or maybe your right fingertips, look for the left fingertips, clasping fingers together, and lower your head down. So deep opening through the chest and the shoulders. And make your way back onto your belly, into your Sphinx pose. Let's take a breath in, lifting your chest forward. And then second side, so right leg this time slides out to the right. Return your chest forward if you've looked back to have a look at your leg, flexing into the right foot. And then finding that twist, so you're either twisting towards the knee or twisting away from the knee. Twisting away is a little bit deeper. Last breath. And then slowly unwind. Slide that leg back, and we'll come into that chest and shoulder opener. This time, right arm comes out wide. Ooh, turn yourself onto your right shoulder, right hip. And then maybe you're stepping the left foot back. And then either stay keeping on your left fingertips or left hand down. Or if you wanted to try one of those other options, taking the left arm behind your back, or maybe left fingertips can find the right fingertips. If you find it really hard to find the fingers when you're reaching back, just know that's completely normal. Proprioception, so knowing where your body is in space, is a skill. It is a skill that we can learn in yoga, and we do learn in yoga. But it can take time There was many a time I was kind of wildly flailing back to try and find the fingers. So don't give yourself a hard time if you have no idea where the fingers are. All right, let's come out. Coming back through Sphinx, just for a breath. And then sliding your hands beside the upper ribs. Let's press pose once more. I'll encourage you this time, if you haven't already been taking a wide knee child's pose, come into that now. Lower yourself down. Maybe bending your elbows, making a pillow for your forehead with your hands. Then just use your hands to press your chest back up. We're going to come to sit on our mats with legs extended forward. Setting up for Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Legs are either straight or can be a little bit bent. Inhale, sit up tall, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinging from the pelvis, not the low back. Begin to fold forward. Maybe catch hold of your big toes, of your peace fingers. Maybe they're miles away from you. Don't worry. Allow your arms to just drape down by your sides. So wherever you are, not forcing and pulling yourself deeper into the fold, just allowing gravity to do the work for you.
What?
Use your breath to breathe into areas of sensation. This can be quite an intense pose for the hamstrings. And just notice after a couple breaths, maybe your body wants to allow you to fold a little bit deeper. We need to be really patient with ourselves when we come into deep forward bends like this. The body needs to feel safe to allow us to go into the deepest stretch. Right, we're going to take our time coming out. On your next breath in, extend your spine forward, lift your chest. Exhale, back out a little bit. And then inhale, back out all the way. From here, we're coming to lie down on our backs for supported fish pose. We've got a couple of options using props. First, grabbing a bolster or a cushion or pillow. You want to have it horizontally on your mat. You're going to come and lie on it. You want it lining up with your shoulder blades. Drape yourself down, taking your head down onto your mat, or if that feels a bit too far, grabbing either another pillow or a blanket or a block for your head to rest. You want to just take your arms out wide, maybe reach them overhead. Another option, if you have 2 yoga blocks, is to place one horizontally on its medium height, and then the second horizontally on its highest height. We want to have the one closest to you
pretty much directly on the shoulder blade or just at the base of the shoulder blades. And then this one is at the back of your head. So you just gotta experiment a little bit and adjust. Oh, I always underestimate how far apart my head and shoulder blades are. Sometimes, if you don't have it lined up properly, it's gonna feel like it's wobbling. So just keep adjusting, and then when you're in a place where it should feel quite comfortable if you're on the blocks. All right, and then just allow your legs to extend out long, closing your eyes. And again, we just want to allow gravity to do the work in this gentle heart opener. With every breath out, see if you can allow your body to melt over your props. We'll be here for about another 30 seconds. All right, listen carefully to come out. You want to bring your elbows in towards your body, pressing down, elbows down into the mat. Tip your chin in towards your chest and then slowly lift on up. Take your time. Slide your props off to the side. And then come to lie back down. Just make sure if you've got props, just put them down towards the bottom of your mat, just so we've got rooms to flail our arms around over the top of the mat for our next posture. So come into lie back down. We're going to come into banana. So from here, begin to walk your feet to the very bottom right corner of your mat. Maybe your left ankle crosses over top of the right. And then from here, begin to shimmy your shoulders into the top right corner of the mat. Reach your arms overhead. Maybe you catch hold of your left wrist with your right hand. So we're making a banana shape with the body. Just a gentle opening along the left side. As we wind down our class, begin to allow your body to come into a state of relaxation. And slowly make our way to the second side. So walking feet over to the left, shimmying shoulders. Just making that gentle banana-shaped curve of the body. Arms are overhead. Eyes closed. Taking one more final breath in this pose. And then moving slowly, coming into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Allow your legs to open wide, arms down by your sides, palms face up. Nothing more to do, nowhere else to be. Quiet mind, quiet body. It's time to relax and rest. Begin to deepen your breath. Notice if your mind has wandered, gently guide it back into your body. Starting to find slow movements in the fingers and the toes. Perhaps reaching your arms overhead, taking a full body stretch. Bend into one knee and then the other. And roll onto your right side. And just take a moment curling up in a ball. And then when you're ready, press yourself up, coming to sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. Palms face down on your knees. And allow your crown to extend up tall, as though there was a string coming out the top of your head and somebody's pulling it up. We'll just take a little stretch here before we close. Clasp your hands behind your head. You want to take them down towards the base of where your hairline meets your neck. Perhaps allowing your thumbs to gently caress and stroke the back of your head. Never underestimating the power of touch. Keeping eyes closed. And then from here, push your head, so the back of your head, into your hands. So it's going to give you a little bit of a double chin. Really extending, lengthening through the back of the neck. And keeping this action of pressing the head back, dipping chin. I want you to lower your left elbow, right elbow lifts. So it's just a gentle little twist. And we'll take that the other way. Return to center. One more press of the head back into the hands. And then lowering down. All right, taking your hands and prayer in front of your heart space. And dipping chin towards chest, bowing forward, closing our practice together. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.